What's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larsen, and you're listening to Sales Funnel Radio.
Welcome to Sales Funnel Radio, where you'll learn marketing strategies to grow your online business using today's best internet sales funnels. And now, here's your host, Steve Larsen.
Hey, hope you're good. Hey, so this last week, we were putting on this webinar, and it went fantastic. And I got to watch Russell in full bore offer creation mode, and it's been fun. I mean, I love watching him in that mode as well. And I try and learn like crazy. I'm trying to be a sponge. Things that I learn, I'm trying to pass them on to you guys. I'm trying to soak in those things. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's like a 14 years of experience of obsessive perfectionism and being the absolute best inside the marketing world. Like, holy crap, and I'm trying to like soak things in. Well, it's been fun to watch. We put this webinar on, and it was cool to see why, and it was fun to watch why. And he went back and he was. We were looking at some old offers we had, and we're like, we need to fix some stuff. We could just fix it and put it out there, but honestly, it's completely a brand new offer. It's a totally different product, So we went out and we launched it, and it killed it, and it went amazing. And yet again, I had another experience where I went back home to my wife and I said, "Babe, I just watched him make $1 million again. Like, holy crap!" Russell and I were sitting back the other day, and it was fun to. I love getting in those moments where he kind of starts to reminisce, and he's telling me about if you guys have ever been inside the ClickFunnels office, all across the ceiling, all across the walls towards the ceiling, there are these 2 Comma Club plaques, and they're all across the walls. They're all over the place, all over the walls, all over and in the hallway near where the bathrooms are, literally ceiling to floor, totally covered in 2 Comma Club plaques of people, of the ClickFunnels users who've made $1 million, and they're constantly coming in like another 5 every week. It's crazy. I mean, it's really, really exciting, and it's fun to see. I didn't think I had any kind of aversion towards making money beforehand. I really didn't, but the scope of what I feel like I'm able to go accomplish has just been skyrocketing, And so I was sitting back, and Russell started reminiscing, and he goes, and he was honestly asking me. He goes, "Hey, he's like, Steven, dude, how many 2 Comma Club plaques do I have out there again?" I was like, "You have like 18." He's like, "Dude, I've been putting the 2 Comma Club 18 times on my own, and 3 of those awards are in the 8-figure club. This is besides ClickFunnels altogether, which makes a lot of money. Besides ClickFunnels altogether, right? He's off. Russell knows how to make offers, and so it's fun to go back and watch him create offers. And repeatedly, one of the lessons I've that's been. I mean, it was already burned in my brain. I remember 2 or 3 years ago, I was listening to, is when I first learned who Russell Brunson was, and I was, I hope you guys, I'm totally a Russell Brunson fanboy. If you guys are not okay with that, like, you should probably get off, because anyway, I hope you don't mind if I share some lessons that I learned from him personally. This is one that's really stuck out to me, and I want to tell you what I'm doing about it. But anyway, about 3 years ago, I was listening to one of Russell's earlier podcasts when it was still marketing in your car, and he said in there, and I believe I've brought this up before, but he said in there, one of the easiest ways to become successful in something is to get a coach, number 1, and number 2, to be a coach, right? The moment you get a coach, you're not held accountable. Number 2, the moment you become a coach, like, you start to learn your own tactics better, because people are asking you how you do what you do. And you may not honestly know how you're doing what you're doing. So you get a coach and you be a coach. And that theme about has continued to come up over and over and over. I mean, all the time it comes up, and it came up again like yesterday. And at least, I mean, honestly, weekly. That is the theme. He is constantly looking for the next coach, for the next person, the person that he can go hook into, and not only be held accountable from, but who's the next powerhouse he can take this plug into and learn more, whatever it is, and supercharge. I love books. I am surrounded in them right now as I'm recording this podcast. There are books, all over the place, stacks of them, literally, not just in bookshelves. There are stacks of books. Books are great. But sometimes when it comes to applicable knowledge that you need in the moment, man, coaches are great. Get a coach. And that's been the thing that I've been watching him doing. And so I've started to do it myself as well. There was a guy, when I got hired on at ClickFunnels, and I got hired on as the lead funnel builder, and I'm sitting there and I was already starry-eyed, and I'm pretty sure I was mute for the first 2 months because I couldn't believe I was sitting 3 feet away from Russell Brunson, and I was like, holy crap, dude, I almost put a poster of you on my wall, and he was like, oh, ha, ha. I was like, I'm not kidding, and it's like, oh, awkward, and he, there's a guy though who messaged out to me, and he goes, dude, do you realize that to be near Russell that often is to become more like him in every way? And Trey Llewellyn calls me Little Brunson now. And I'm not patting my own back, but what I've started to notice, I've been there a year and a half now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's started to become true. The isms, my mannerisms, even the way the way I speak, the way I teach, all those pieces are starting to sink deeply into my own behaviors. Behavior is not an easy thing to change in human beings. Right? It's not. That takes a long time. There is a huge amount of conscious effort that goes into shifting how you behave, right? Tons. And so, especially over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've begun to ask myself, why has Russell become Russell? And it's been a very interesting question, and it's kind of been a little bit subconscious, also conscious question though. It's like, why do I really feel Russell has become Russell? There's a lot of reasons. There's a ton of them. The work ethic is through the roof, right? I mean, the dude knows how to work, right? He understands how to be a creator, right? Rather than someone just creating a Me Too product. He knows how to create offers. And it's so funny. A lot of times we'll go create something, ClickFunnels will go put something out there, and within a little while, people will be trying to knock it off with their own versions of it. Russell has not created his expertise by learning how to do that well. He has created his expertise on learning how to create brand new, amazing offers, right? That's huge. But why? One of the major points I'm trying to get to here, why has Russell become Russell? Because I have never seen him where he's not had a coach. I've never seen him where there's not a sense of urgency, which is in part to the fact that someone else is holding him accountable as well, who he has paid money to. That's amazing. Recently, I was, I do coaching, and I love it. It's a lot of fun. And, it was actually a buddy. I don't know if you guys know Akbar Sheikh. I actually had him on the podcast recently. Hope he doesn't mind me telling this. I respect him like crazy. He is... not just an acquaintance, he's a true friend, to the core. And I really, really, really appreciate it. But you think about that, he came and he's like, hey, could you want to look over something of mine and I'll take one of your coaching spots? And I was like, sure, that'd be great. And I was tempted to not charge him. And I was tempted to not charge him because we're close. We're very, very close. You know what I mean? I've done that a lot to family, and I've done that a lot to close friends. And you know what I've noticed every single time is they never do anything afterwards. Ever. It's the saddest, and it's heart-wrenching for both the one being coached and the coach, because the coach is really trying to help. And so even by the way of self-preservation, not that I'm like emotionally weak or anything, but it sucks to watch that. And so I was like, dude, I hope you don't mind, but there's a law, like some kind of weird unspoken law, that if I don't charge somebody, they don't do anything. They don't do anything. And it's a sad thing to watch happen. It's not fun. When I first graduated from college, I was so impressed by the book .com Secrets. I sent 30 of them to friends for free. I just got the books and I sent 30 of them out. I was like, this book literally has changed my life. It started my actual business while I was in college. It got me out the door. It got me, it got me everything. .com Secrets was the freaking way, man. I mean, I was so obsessed already that I plugged the powerhouse that I was already learning to become with the powerhouse of .com Secrets, and it exploded me and made me qualifiable to actually work at a place like ClickFunnels next to Russell. You know what I mean? And it's because I was trying to coach. I was trying to get a coach, and I was trying to be a coach. And that was a principle that was always going through in my head. But I told my buddy, I was like, dude, I feel like I got to charge you, although it's weird for me to do so. And he was like, dude, I actually understand that. You charge me full price. And I was like, okay. And it's amazing what happens when there is a transfer of value back and forth. That's why it's free plus shipping. Does that make sense? Because if it was just free, no one would ever do anything afterwards. There has to be, even though it's usually $7 for the shipping, like there has to be some kind of transfer of value both ways. It's a give and give relationship, not a give and take one. Does that make sense? All of businesses, all of customers, any business I've ever seen that's worthwhile, it's sustainable for a lot of reasons. It is a give and take. There has to be some kind of transfer of value back and forth between the two. But I'm starting to notice, so Akbar paid me. My buddy paid me, and I went and I watched Russell go out and get a new coach again for something different. He is constantly learning, and I started thinking through. Okay, just bear with me for a second. This is I'm trying to figure out how to share this. A lot of people have been telling, like, Steven, oh my gosh, you work in the freaking marketing nucleus of the planet. And I was like, yeah, I know. It's freaking amazing. I mean, it's the most cutting edge stuff, right? Status quo is created in ClickFunnels. That's amazing. Marketing status quo is created in ClickFunnels all the time. How? He is bathing himself in it and loving it and is so passionate about it. And if you can't be passionate about the thing you are to that degree, change the thing, find the thing. You may not be in the right thing. And so he's going around and he's constantly pushing himself. And I had the thought, like, how freaky would it be? Would Steve Larsen be Steve Larsen if I had not hooked into that? Interesting. And I believe I would, but not with the speed that has happened. If you're frustrated with how slow things might be moving, maybe they're not going fast enough, I dare you to go get a coach, and I dare you to pay them full price, and I dare you to pay a full price, even if it, overpay them a little bit. There is something weird that happens every single time I do any kind of coaching at all. I charge for their benefit. Does that make sense? It's not that I need the money. Like, I'm not like dying you know what I mean? Like, we're doing great. But if I don't charge, the other person doesn't take it serious, and they don't go freaking get off their butt and do what I said, or you know what I mean? The best people I've ever seen, coaching wise, oh my gosh, they come willingly, they pay beforehand, and then they go do the thing immediately, and then they report back to me within like a day. They've already done the thing that I said. Like, oh my gosh, that's way cool. And then they'll come back and they'll do another session back and forth. And that's how it happens. And so, and I think it's the same thing. Now, sitting around listening to Russell the way he talks, would be like, yeah, this person is my first mentor. Oh yeah, this person over here is my mentor for a while over here doing this. Oh, you know what? This guy over here, he was a mentor of mine. He was like, holy crap, dude. Like, how many mentors have you had? I know you've been at it for 14 years, but really in hindsight, 14 years is not that long. You know what I mean? Like, compared to all the greats that have been out there and all the guys who've done this, and like, I mean, 14 years, that's not that long. 2003, 14 years ago, that's really not that crazy. That's not that crazy. And how has a guy who's he's barely past mid-30s, the way he is, it's because of his coaching. That's my opinion. All right, he's just hooking into people all the time. He doesn't freak out when someone asks him, or he doesn't freak out when someone says, yeah, you got to pay in order to be a part of this. He gets it. He knows it. Right? That's why there's $100,000 groups and masterminds. Those people get it. But sometimes it takes a mentality break. It takes a shift for people to understand that. It's not just a stat. Of course, there's an element of status to it as well, being part of those kinds of groups. But that's not it. Every time I watch or I hear the guys that are involved with those groups, every time I see someone who's going, I mean, they all understand that you have got to pay to play. Get a coach and be a coach. Get a coach and be a coach. Get a coach and be a coach. I feel like I should keep saying that over and over and over again. Just burn it in your head. That one principle. Russell asked me once, he's like, dude, what was the thing that got it? Like, what was the thing that clicked in your head? And I was like, two things. Number one, I learned how to create offers when I was in college. Not products, offers. Not services, offers. The point is to graduate products and service into an offer, right? You don't sell products. You don't sell services. You don't sell products or services. That's not at all what you sell. You sell offers. That's very different. It's very different. And when I learned how to do that in college, boom, massive stride in progress for me. Luckily, I learned that before, going to ClickFunnels. And I was like, and I said the second thing, and what I told him was, I was like, dude, there was this podcast you gave, when I was probably like a junior in college, and you said get a coach and be a coach, and that changed my life because I was trying to be a coach. So I started I was periscoping, and I was scared to death. I really didn't know all the things I was talking about. I was just trying to talk about different lessons that I was learning in marketing. That was it. I didn't have enough experience. So I was just choosing little things here and there. And that's what got me publishing and out the door, And then I was trying to get a coach as well. And I was just consuming like a beast with the intent to reteach it. That's very, very key. I was learning for 2. I've talked about that as well in here. Anyway, I'm kind of blabbering now, but I want you to know, like, that's really been the major thing in my mind why Russell Brunson has become Russell Brunson. For the last 18 months, I have spent every workday, in the same room with him. And the thing that I watch over and over and over again, you know what? I bet you listening to this podcast right now, you probably know how to work hard. You probably do. I'm a hardworking guy. I do believe in an element of law of attraction. There's certainly the attractive character. You've probably been attached to this podcast for some reason. Mano y mano, we're seeing each other eye to eye, or at least ear to ear, voice to ear anyway, right? But okay, so then what's the difference? His speed of execution is insane. The dude knows how to make offers. He knows how to work. You probably know how to do the same thing. But man, the dude has coaches for everything. He'll have a coach for, maybe I shouldn't rattle them all off, but there's a lot. It's all over the place. There's coaches for everything. And then I get frustrated when someone's like, you have a coaching fee to help me with my funnel, Steven? Freak. Yes, I do. Because you won't do a dang thing unless you pay. You understand? You know what I mean? And so I get, clearly I get animated about it. It's like, gosh, you don't get it yet. You don't get it yet, and anyway, a lot of fun. It was fun. I look up to Akbar like crazy. It's fun to do that with him. All the other people that have done coaching sessions with me, you guys are all awesome too. Really appreciate it. If you are looking, for one, you know what? That's an announcement for later on. But anyway, guys, I hope it's sinking deep. Hope you're starting to get what I'm trying to say here. That if you choose to get a coach, it increases your speed in a way that's very hard for me to describe. It especially when you pay. I always pay. Otherwise, I have a hard time saying that it's an actual coach. Sometimes I think that when I see a lot of people sometimes on Facebook go like, hey, who wants to get together and do a mastermind? It's like, oh, that's cool. That's great. But if it's a free mastermind, I feel like sometimes people have the facade of movement and they start confusing, motion with achievement. They're just moving. They're not really achieving stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're not good. I'm not saying you don't learn stuff. You learn great things. It's awesome. There's resources. It's fun stuff. It's good. I totally get it. I'm not bagging on that at all. It's just I feel like sometimes people try and take the place of a coach with things like free masterminds on the internet, and I don't think that takes its place at all. I think it robs it if you're thinking that way. So. Anyway, I'm continuing to ramble here, and I'm trying to get faster on my podcast. Sometimes I go a little bit too long, and I know that. But anyway, you guys are awesome. Appreciate it. Go get a coach and be a coach. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Sales Funnel Radio. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback. Want to get one of today's best internet sales funnel for free? Go to salesfunnelbroker.com/free funnels to download your pre-built sales funnel today.